Welcome to the Global WarWatch Network. We're all about tracking the tech that's shaping the conflicts of tomorrow.
That right there? That's not science fiction. It's the new reality of air defense. We're living in the age of the drone, and it sparked a lightning-fast arms race. Today, we're going to get into the systems designed to hunt these new predators of the sky. And hey, if you want to stay ahead of the curve on this kind of defense tech, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button now.
All right, first up, the new drone threat. This is all about the age of asymmetric warfare. So what's the big deal with drones? What makes them so revolutionary? Well, it's not just the tech itself. It's how accessible it is. I mean, for the first time ever, groups that aren't even countries and smaller nations can suddenly project air power. That used to be something only the big superpowers could do. And that right there is the very definition of asymmetric warfare.
Yeah, and this really gets to the heart of it. Drones have become the weapon of choice for these groups. Why? Because they're cheap and you can get them anywhere. It's basically democratized the idea of a precision strike. You don't need a multi-million-dollar missile anymore. You don't need a fighter jet. All you need is a drone you could probably buy online, a few tweaks and, well, the intent to cause harm.
And you've got to understand the many faces of this drone threat. It is so much more than just kamikaze drones. Think about it. They're these persistent eyes in the sky, providing 24/7 surveillance, directing artillery fire with terrifying accuracy. They're used in raids and ambushes. Heck, they're even being used for cyber hacking, literally landing near a facility to infiltrate data. They can spread disinformation and even act as decoys to just overwhelm an enemy's defenses. It's an incredibly versatile threat.
And look, this isn't just some theory. This is real. Take this quote from Group Captain Vinod about the 2021 Jammu Air Force Station attack. He said it wasn't just a breach of physical space, it was a breach of perception. 2 little drones dropped explosives in less than 5 minutes. There was no big radar signature to pick up, no fighter pilot to scramble. It showed the enemy didn't need a fancy missile. All they needed was a drone, a GPS, and intent. That was a huge wake-up call.
Okay, so how in the world do you fight back against a threat you can barely even see? Well, your first line of defense is often invisible. We're talking about the invisible fight, or what the pros call soft kill solutions. So what exactly is a soft kill? The key thing to remember is this: no bullets, no explosions. It's all about disabling the drone's systems electronically. A great way to think about it is like you're cutting a puppet's strings. You're using things like radio frequency jammers to mess with the signal going to the operator, or GPS spoofers to feed it bogus coordinates and just send it flying off somewhere harmless.
And you can see the appeal, right? On one hand, it's non-lethal, so there's low risk to anyone on the ground. You can cover a wide area, and it's pretty cheap every time you use it. But, and this is a big but, the weaknesses are becoming a huge problem. I mean, what do you do against a drone that's autonomous and doesn't even need a radio link? Or how about drones controlled by fiber optic cables? They're totally immune to jamming, and if the signal's encrypted, forget about it. So, what happens when these drones go dark and silent? Well, that's the question that's forcing a massive change in military strategy. If you can't jam it, you have to hunt it.
And that brings us to our next section: brute force. We're talking about hard kill solutions. This is the kinetic, physical response. We're done with subtle interference. This is all about finding it and destroying it.
And believe me, when jamming isn't enough, the hard kill toolkit is pretty impressive. We're talking about everything from smart guns and lasers that can literally burn a drone out of the sky, to hunter-killer drones designed specifically for air-to-air combat.
So a hard kill is exactly what it sounds like. It's a destructive method that physically neutralizes the drone. The goal is simple: stop it, period. Doesn't matter if you shoot it down with bullets, zap it with energy, or intercept it with another vehicle. The end game is the same: threat neutralized. Just to give you an idea of the kind of firepower we're dealing with, look at this number: 4,500. That's the number of rounds per minute a system like the Phalanx CIWS can fire. This thing was originally designed as a ship's last line of defense against missiles, and now it's being put on land. It basically creates a solid wall of tungsten flying through the air. Nothing's getting through that.
And this evolution in wartime is happening at an insane speed. I mean, look at this. On the left, you have an improvised FPV drone with a shotgun strapped to it, a clever battlefield solution from Ukraine. But then on the right, you have a purpose-built, fully autonomous interceptor. This is the shift from DIY solutions to highly sophisticated industrial-grade weapons happening in just a couple of years. It's incredible.
Okay, so this escalating threat is forcing entire nations to come up with big, integrated strategies. And to see what that looks like in the real world, we're going to look at a really interesting case study, India's drone shield, also known as the Sudarshan Chakra mission.
Right at the heart of this mission is an indigenous platform, the D4 CIWS. And D is pretty simple to remember. It stands for detect, deter, and destroy.
And here's how the D4 system works. It's a three-step process. First, it detects, and X-band radar and optical sensors pick up and track the drone. Second, it deters. This is the soft kill part. It uses RF jammers and GPS spoofers to try and disrupt the drone's controls. But if that doesn't work, step 3, destroy. It switches to hard kill mode and uses a laser-directed energy weapon to just take the drone out.
This chart really shows you that layered defense in action. You can see the D4 system's engagement envelope. The detection range is way out at 8 kilometers. The soft kill range kicks in at 5 kilometers. And if the drone gets past all that, the hard kill laser has a range of about 800 meters. See? It's layer after layer of defense, giving it multiple chances to stop an attack.
And India isn't stopping with the D4. The DRDO is already developing a monster 300-kilowatt laser system called Surya. We're talking a planned range of 20 kilometers. This is a game changer, moving lasers from a last resort into a long-range weapon system.
So where does all this lead? To the future of air defense. This is the next battlefield, and it's a relentless, high-tech cat-and-mouse game where every advantage is only temporary.
I mean, just look at this escalating arms race. In the early 2020s, it was all about RF-controlled drones versus jammers. Pretty simple. By the mid-2020s, we've got fiber-optic FPV drones that need hunter-killers. Looking towards the late 2020s, we're talking about AI-enabled swarms that will probably need directed energy weapons to stop. And in the 2030s, who knows? Maybe quantum-navigated drones that can't be jammed at all. So what's the counter to that? It's a huge question mark.
And this all brings us to a really heavy final question. As these drone swarms become more and more autonomous, who, or maybe what, is going to make that final decision to fire? These systems are getting so fast the decision loop might be too quick for a human to even be involved. It's a tough question, but one we absolutely have to start asking. And that's all we've got time for today. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Global WarWatch Network. If you found this useful, do us a huge favor and hit those like and share buttons. And of course, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's next. We really want to know what you think. What's the future of these autonomous defense systems? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you want to keep the conversation going, all our social media links are down in the description. We'll see you for the next one.